Alright, so Temur Domri. This is an archetype that we've been tooling around with that I really like in this format. I think it's super powerful. You'll note, actually gonna change one thing here real quick. I'm gonna put another Harpooner in the sideboard. You'll note that this build is listed as Temur Domri plus Phoenix, so the person that donated for this wanted to see the card Rekindling Phoenix tried out. We do have to warp the mana a little bit to play that card, but Rekindling Phoenix is an incredibly powerful magic card in this format, so I really don't mind its inclusion. To the person, I believe it was Gorks, who had originally submitted this build, they had submitted it with some cute cards like Thrash Threat that are just like, okay, but generically not super powerful. And notably, they had cut Llanowar Elves from the deck, and I think cutting Llanowar Elves from these green mid-range decks is some really hot nonsense. Not only do we want to get to, like, Domri ahead of curve, but we have Hydroid Krasis to pay off when we're flooding out and stuff like that. So I think not playing this is a really big miss in this archetype, so I worked those back in. In the build that I've been playing, I have 2 Kraul Harpooner and 2 Thrashing Brontodon in the main where these Rekindling Phoenix are. So a little bit lower to the ground, a little bit utility creatures basically. Let's go ahead and dive into some match 2 and see how it goes. So, like, there could be a consideration to, like, pushing this to the bottom and looking for Explorer creatures to supplement the Wildgrowth Walker, but, like, Domri's down tick is probably going to help us find those, right? Pretty solid curve here. One of the things that I really love about Growth Chamber Guardian is that it's a 2 and 3 mana play, basically. It gives us something to do with our mana on both of those turns, which is nice. Sure. Alright, let's start by attacking for 4 here. Just gonna play a Baby Krasis here. Threatens to block their Thief of Sanity, which is nice. Maybe just pressure them out of the game. Cause like, if they spend a removal spell on this and hit us with Thief, then we get to like play Domri plus Domri. Do you have a 4th land? You do not. That's really good for us. So let's play this plus this. And this is where it's a little bit different than paper. I guess it's not that different. It's just a little bit harder to do. So I technically could look through my deck and try and figure out what they took. But the timer doesn't really allow me to do that here. This is a free chump for them, right? Because the Krasis comes back as a 0/0. If they have another Deputy of Detentions, we could be in trouble here. Sure. I might downtick Domri and dig for Explore creatures this turn. Or I could do that. Does that sound good? Oh, I didn't need to shock that, right? Actually, yeah, I'm gonna shock that, and I'm gonna down tick Domri. Because even if I gave this an extra defense, it would still trade with the Seraph, so there's really no reason to give this an extra defense.
Any geese here?
Next turn, Domri can give something haste, so we'll have 3 lethal attackers. That's really good. You know what's really sweet? Hasty Hydroid Krasis. Actually, exactly lethal with Trample. Seraph makes 2 blockers when it dies, so they weren't dead that turn. The old Hasty Flample. Dude, does nobody know what Seraph of the Scales does? Come on, chat, you're better than this. I believe in you, chat. Alright, so Harpooner and Lava Coil. Coil sound great. Ravager Wurm sounds fine. What do I want to trim here? I wonder if this is a matchup where I trim a Domri. I trim a Merfolk Branchwalker too. I'm cutting the Explore package. This doesn't really attack well. I wonder if I cut this instead of Domri. 31 creatures. I'm gonna leave it at 32. Hitting the consistency from the Explore package is a little bit important. Mr. Maple Syrup, 2 months till Whack-A-Mole. Thanks for the 10 months in a row. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. This isn't amazing, but it's fine. One of the things that's important is, like, my opponent's deck is a Thought Erasure deck, so I basically just want to keep hands that have lands and spells against a Thought Erasure deck. Because if I mulligan for better spells, they're just going to take them away. Okay, just kill their thing. It's possible I should play Incubation Druid here on 2 and give them a turn with the hero so that way I could play 2 2-drops on turn 3. But I get to play a tap land plus a 2-drop this turn, so there's that. Do I Jadelight Ranger now? Yeah, I guess I'm gonna Jadelight Ranger now. Ooh. They shock, so this is dead. It's possible I should just play Incubation Druid out to let that die. You talk about the advantage of Frilled Mystic instead of negating the sideboard. Yeah, Frilled Mystic kills your opponent, and it's a card that you can find with Domri. So, like, you want your Domris against the Nexus decks to, like, find you your creatures that, like, do stuff that are relevant. So by playing creatures that are utility cards, your Domris add consistency to your deck to find the cards that you want to draw more consistently. That's true too. Dodging opposing negates in the Frilled Mystic is also relevant in a lot of those matchups. Yeah, in the matchups where you're bringing Frilled Mystic in though, you really don't have the matchup where Frilled Mystic comes in. There aren't that many. Huh? Do I just do this? Oh yeah, this is great. So I do this, and then do I want to down tick?
Nothing like a bit of violence.
Yeah, I'm gonna down tick actually.
Take a peek, you know, like you do.
I was going to say I could I could uptick and put this into play with the counter on it and get a friend right away. But I think just drawing a card with this before they Eldest Reborn or Vraska's can tempt me is relevant here. Alright, well, that's pretty good. What's the scariest thing they can get back at the moment? It's a Domri, which isn't particularly good in their deck. Yeah, I don't want to kill the Seraph till after this thing pops off, that's for sure. Speaking of Seraph, thanks for the Prime support. I think I just activate this. And I think I want to play this, and the question is, what am I doing with it? I can just, like, down tick it from a, hey, look, a distraction standpoint. That doesn't seem terrible. And, like, their Seraph gives it a love tap.
You think I'm a pro? That's nice. Where do you see my mate? Nice indeed.
That's unfortunate. So even a land drop's a good draw next turn, because a land drop lets me Krasis for 6, which draws an extra card. Yeah, but like, what does Hasty Krasis actually do, right? Like, if they kill my Domri, he's dead, but he drew a card, and like maybe he draws 2 cards there, and like if I play him plus him, he lives, but then he's just dying over the course of 2 turns. And, like, with them getting my Domri back, he might not even live. Yikes! Yikes! Alright, yeah. Huh. Well... Well.
I'm not finished. Not by a long shot. Oh, look at you.
Yeah, first strike does not apply to combat. Or to fighting. Only applies to combat, not fighting. Yeah, lifelink is whenever the creature deals damage. One little power can go a long way. Yeah, lifelink and death touch trigger on damage dealt. First strike is explicitly a different phase in the combat that happens. Alright, I think we're dead here. Yeah, exactly what K-Dog said. The rules of First Strike are there's a different combat step that happens. I think I'm happy with how I boarded. Maybe I want this extra Domri in my deck. He was like pretty reasonable. Although I guess he did just die. Nah, I'm gonna be happy with 2, I think. Esper Domri next. Yeah, because Justice Strike has the creature deal damage to itself. Nah, Glissa the Trader is just not a card that's playable in Modern. Format's too fast and brutal for a card like that. She's a slow, grindy card in a fast, brutal format. So I think this is a double ramp creature opener. And I think getting this into play tapped here is more valuable than dealing 1 to them. Not quite sure how the role assessment's supposed to go in this matchup. It's also possible I'm supposed to just activate Incubation Druid this turn, but activating Incubation Druid this turn is bad against a single piece of spot removal. Yep. Alright, so I have 6 mana altogether here. I think I'm just gonna go Branchwalker, Growth Chamber, Incubation Druid. I'm gonna bin that at this point. I'm looking for my bigger payoffs, my Worms, my Krasis, my Domris. Yep. Alright, so I can activate this and then activate this. So, like, the downside here is if they're blocking with the Seraph of the Scales here, I could activate this and then play Harpooner and play the other Chamber Guardian, which I think is what I want to do. I think I want to take their blockers out of the way and get more attackers going. So this makes my Hydroid Krasis a little bit worse, but it puts more pressure onto the board, which is where I want to be at the moment. We're ahead on board, and we just want to stay ahead on board. Lyra gets bad for us if they have an untapped white source into Lyra. But even if that happens, we just, like, take a turn off to activate Incubation Druids and, like, get Hydroid Krasis going. If I draw land, I can double activate Incubation Druids, then untapping Krasis for, like, infinite. If they have a removal spell, they might want to kill this to stop my chain of 4/4s. Hostage Taker. Okay, that's pretty good. You're gonna take my Branchwalker to help them hit lands? That's kind of funny. Hey, Brian, thanks for the 10 months. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, I don't think Scred's something that I'm really willing to play. So I have 4, 7, 8, 9 mana. So this Krasis is a 7/7 next turn. Rekindled Soul, thank you for the very generous tier 2 resub. I appreciate it. And thanks for the 13 months. Welcome back. Be sure to drop me a message in private. Let me know which deck in the queue you'd like to bump up. As always, my tier 2 subs get to do that every month. That's their second white, which does unlock Lyra here. It's a shame I didn't hit land last turn. We've already played that, and I don't think that's something I'd run back. It's really slow and clunky. Man, what if I just smash with all the stuff this turn? I'm just gonna do this. It's like they're gonna get to like copy Seraph next turn. I wanna just try and pressure them out of the game. This lets me activate this, and then if they somehow survive this combat step and the combat step next turn, I'll be able to like Krasis for 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and draw 5. They might stack block and kill one of these Incubation Druids, but if that happens, that still seems pretty reasonable to me. So how many things do they have to block here? They have to block 3 things, right? If they let... Oh, they have to block 2 things. They could let this, this, and this through and go to 1. Laz does not proc into the battlefield effects, no. Hey, Atheist Vengeance, thanks for the 6 months. I appreciate the half a year. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. That's true. I did elect to not attack with an elf on 1. I don't think they can beat Collision Colossus, so they should probably just like make their best blocks pretending that card doesn't exist. Which is the conclusion they came to. So now they have to beat the board, and they have to beat the Krasis in our hand. So, like, unless they have, like, Kaya's Wrath or Ritualist set here, we should be a pretty solid favorite. Oh, jeez. That kind of does both those things. Oh! Oh, yes! Please take my 4/4s. Ah, they took my 4/4s. No! 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 We got greedy trying to set up a bigger one, and we got punished. We're looking for a Wurm, a Domri, or a Krasis here. Wurm, Domri, Krasis. These are a few of my favorite things. Okay. All things considered, I definitely had worse draws in my deck. I think I'm gonna hold on to the Harpooner in the event of Lyra. This card just is like in event of Lyra, break glass. Don't don't think I'm in the market for a 2-mana 3/2. Just getting punished for every one of my plays this game. That's actually not the worst, right? So I guess it lets me I can activate these anyways. I mean, that's really not how deck selection works, our carry. So, like, obviously, the Esper hero deck is capable of winning games of Magic and matches of Magic. And, like, I've made a couple of small decisions that have, like, not worked out in our favor these games. So, like, and we're actually still ahead here, even with a couple of the small choices I made coming back to bite me pretty solidly. Was this a free attack? I think this was a free attack. I didn't count it. They have to block 4 of these, right? Or they die. Yeah, this was a free attack. I missed a point of damage. They have to block all of these. Because if they leave 2 of these unblocked with double activation here, they die. So because I drew the land, the elf could have attacked for free. That's a second missed point of damage. I don't know that the first damage was strictly wrong to not take, but this point of damage was free. So this was a strict mistake to not do. The not attacking on turn 2, I could take or leave. I'm not sure 100% what our role is in this matchup. But if they were at 3, each of these would be lethal on their own next turn, which is a big deal. Now, if they don't have Lyra or a sweeper here, we're okay anyways, but dude, it is worth pointing out that elf should have attacked. Alright, Temur Domri, take me home. Take me home, country roads, to the place I belong. Do 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 do, do 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 do. You fall into the percentages if you are outside of, I think it's the top 1,200 players or something like that. We did win. Sorry, Dallas. Got our combo opener here. An old Wildgrowth Walker into things. Alright. Smells like teen, what's it called? So this is a matchup that is made worse by the changes that we made to this deck. So this is a build where having a bunch of Brontodons in your main deck is very, very good. Bunch of Brontodons here, 75. I don't know if the matchup's necessarily going to be bad, but it's definitely going to be worse than it otherwise was. Maybe I should have played the Jadelight there to play around Sabotage. But potentially getting Jadelight on both of these sounds appealing. But they do have double blue up now. In the event that we get 2 more turns after this, Ravager Wurm can kill the Memorial to Genius. But that being said, if you haven't played against this archetype before, there is a good chance we don't get 2 more turns. With Reclamation on 4, there's a good chance they combo us on 5 or 6. So, am I dead yet? With the iterations of Temur Domri that weren't playing Phoenix, I have yet to lose a match to this archetype. I think. Definitely beaten it more than we've lost to it. Maybe I dropped one. I don't remember. I don't keep track of it all. Oh, yeah, they did have Reclamation on 3. You're right. You are completely right. That was a turn 3. This was my turn 4, right? So I just might not get a turn 5 here in Standard. Just like, have to watch them start stroking off. Starting on turn whatever this is. Oh. So we cut the Hydroid Krasis and most of the Wildgrowth Walkers in this matchup because this is not a matchup where we win by going long. We need to be aggressive and get under the opponent here. Domri stays in. While he does generate card advantage, he also allows us to pressure our opponent quicker. And the fact that he digs us so deep when we -3 him gives us more virtual copies of things like Brontodon as well as Frilled Mystic to draw those cards more often. The next is a Fate deck. At some point, casts a Hydroid Krasis for some amount of mana and then attacks with it over and over again while it's taking infinite turns. So, somewhere 10 minutes from now, my opponent would win the game by attacking with creatures. Should you have blockers for their first big creature, they're just gonna like chain turns until they have enough lands to like make a Krasis bigger than whatever you're doing or blink whatever you're doing. Seems like reasonable-ish on the play. Doesn't have a way to interact with an enchantment. It's got like ramp into pressure and Frilled Mystic, so maybe we've got a shot. Put a mulligan to 6. So next turn will probably be Incubation Druid plus Growth Chamber Guardian. I conceded there. For people wondering why I conceded because my opponent played a insight thing and kept multiple cards from it. So I think we're pretty likely to lose from that position. So I get to attack for 3 next turn. And I get to play Growth Chamber Guardian. While still holding up Frilled Mystic. And if they don't give me something to Frilled Mystic, I can activate Growth Chamber Guardian to continue adding pressure to the table here. So, because they didn't have their annoying enchantment last turn, we're in a pretty good spot to win here. Because they'll be attacking for 7 here momentarily while still leaving a counterspell up. They have a blink of an eye here. Yep, good tempo play for them. Feels bad, but it's where we are. Let's rinse and repeat. That's right. It's the right play last turn. It's the right play this turn. Here we go. Here we go again. Here we go again. Should have known. Should have known. Should have known again. I mean, I guess at least they're not activating Incubation Druid. They could have activated Incubation Druid and blocked that turn, which would have been a little annoying. And the problem now is if I activate this, they now have enough mana to like cast Nexus of Fate. And like now I can't reasonably attack through this Incubation Druid either. Yeah, I think we're dead. I should probably concede. I'm really not having fun. It's kind of a miserable match of Magic. This feels a lot like the bad matches of Modern. Yeah, we're done. You know, there were a lot of different things we could have done there, and they all lost to different things. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, the fact that, like, Reclamation and Nexus exists is probably going to keep me from getting into the top 1,000. Not because it's unbeatable, but just because, like, it takes this thing that I'm supposed to be doing for fun and just, like, sucks all the joy out of it. Because they weren't memorable, Burgle. It was 2 Thrashing Brontodon and 2 Kraul Harpooner. So we took the deck and we made it more clunky at the sake of adding more value to it, which I'm not sure is a reasonable thing to do. Oh, Gates, not Nexus. God bless. Gates is probably hard too. Yeah, I don't know that I'm a fan of the changes that were made in this shell. I'm gonna play a few and see if we can, like, this is like another matchup where just like Rekindling Phoenix, just like it doesn't really have text. Maybe I want that for just making 4/4s. Yeah, I guess if I keep that, I could play it and make it a 4/4 next turn. Like, how do I ever beat this 6/6? Yeah, once they find red mana and get to Gates Ablaze us, the jig is up. So I like play this with haste, attack with everything, they eat this, they take 7, 8, 9, 10, and then like they're dead the next turn, technically. Till they Gates Ablaze us. Alright, assuming their deck that's just drawn 400 cards has nothing of relevance in their hand, they're dead. Okay, just do that. I think this matchup's bad for Temur regardless. I'll post it in the subs Discord in the article previews channel, Chewy. It just doesn't really do much, right? It's kind of slow. I guess it plays Druid into Double Crab. Do I have hands that are much faster than this? I really don't, right? Alright, there's a Rekindling Phoenix. Huh. Alright, well, let's do this. And then play Llanowar Elves out.
You're gonna hurt when this is through. Wait till you see my mates.
I don't know if the Gates deck was designed to do anything specific, but the result of what it actually does is that, yeah, it's very good against the mid-range decks, especially these mid-range decks that don't have answers to things like Gatebreaker Ram. If you can't kill this inside of combat, you're gonna have a real bad time in this matchup.
These go here, those go there.
So I've got 6 mana altogether here. Guess I'll take these. If they attack the goat into Domri here, I'm going to double block with Chamber Guardian plus the elf. If they have a growth spiral for the blowout, we'll just get blown out. Suppose they could have had like a shock or a ship and fire there to have things end poorly for us as well. I mean, I think it depends on their draw more than anything, Gorks. Is what it comes down to. Like sometimes the Gates deck just doesn't do anything, and then you kill it. And like, yeah, I believe you it's good for us when like their deck just like literally doesn't do anything and they die. I think that's probably the exception more than the norm. Like maybe they don't have a goat every game. Maybe the games where they don't have goats and don't have gates ablaze, but like then again, those are like games where just like not doing anything, right? Okay, yeah, so, like, it sounds like you're just having games where they, like, don't have GOAT. So, like, I'd believe you, like, when they don't have GOAT, it's fine for you. But, like, GOAT is basically unbeatable from this side of the table. I guess I can actually... Oh, you better not use my hasted mana. You better not use my hasted mana. How do I let it use turn off auto tap, put on full control mode? Okay. I don't know which of those things does it, but I just want to make sure it doesn't use my special mana. I want this to have haste. No, you can use the haste mana on anything. It just says if it was spent on a creature, then it has haste. Yeah, so Domri does just generically ramp. It's just usually he's in a deck with only creatures, so it's not relevant. Alright, I mean...
This ain't gonna be one of those quiet riots.
This is post board. block. Take 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alright, so hasty Growth Chamber Guardian is lethal here. Howdy, troll. Afternoon. It's going all right. Hit 2 kind of medium matchups in a row. We played against Nexus last match and got kind of run out, which is always Nexus just feels bad regardless of what happens. And then Gates is a real tough matchup for the Temur deck. Yeah, Rekindling Phoenix was good there. I agree. It was quite excellent. Yeah, Domri just like both his modes were great, right? Like he down-ticked to find us gas, and then he allowed that gas to put extra pressure on very quickly. God bless you, little Llanowar Elves. You are the glue that keeps our Temur world together. No gate on 1. That's interesting. No Gateway Plaza. Makes sense. So if we draw land, we're going to go Domri into Branchwalker. If we miss on a land drop, we'll probably go... Alright, well now we need a land to play Domri. Perfect. What a perfect one-lander. Lightning Strike's interesting out of them. Let me go find some friends. Let's find some friends. Unfortunately, Ravager Wurm cannot kill either of the plazas because they don't have activated abilities. They have triggered abilities. Again, the difference between activated and triggered ability. They have Banefire in their deck against us? That's wild. I'm going to play this to start pressuring them in the air. The Growth Chamber Guardian's a little bit more mana efficient, but the Rekindling Phoenix is better against a sweeper, and it's better against a goat coming down. Tier 3 subs, Alkalol, are only standard and modern decks. So the Legacy as a format just isn't quite as popular as the other two, so I look for at least a $50 donation to play that one. If you wanted to throw a kicker on top of your tier 3 to like put another 25 on it to kick it up to 50, that would be okay. I do just need to offset the popularity of Legacy. It's a little bit more expensive, so we're not doing it constantly. Alright. Gain another 3 off your lands. They have 3 gates, or 4 gates at the moment. Just like in real life, Legacy is prohibitively expensive. Yep. They've gained 9 plus 8 from the... So they've gained 20 this game, right? They've gained actual 20. We've dealt 32. Oh, they didn't gain life with the first plaza. You're right. Now they've gained 19. Alright, don't clear my board. Go. Super dead Declarion and Gates Blaze. You basically need him to have like a big fat nothing here. I don't know, we're in a position to beat things. It's gonna be play the card that draws a bunch of cards. Yep. So they could draw 3 cards here and still cast Gates Blaze. They can play another gate and draw a card and still cast Gates Blaze. They probably should have tapped their forests. What? That means they already have the sweeper. I'm gonna end significantly early today. I'm just not feeling it. I'm kind of middling on what's going on at the moment. I'm gonna get some other decks together and we'll be back tomorrow. So I'll catch all y'all in the morning. Have a good one. My heart's just not in it. Nexus into Gates. I just really don't want to play anymore at the moment.